Discipline changes how people treat you without you saying a word. There's a reason disciplined people are respected even when they're silent. Neuroscience proves it. History confirms it. And Machiavelli warned that once people sense self-control, they either submit or sabotage. Machiavelli believed that power is maintained not by force alone, but by perception. And modern psychology supports this idea through studies on self-control and delayed gratification. Most famously, the Stanford marshmallow experiment, which proved that individuals who could delay pleasure went on to have higher success, better health, and stronger leadership traits later in life. Because discipline literally rewires the brain's prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making and impulse control, meaning every time you do what you said you would do, especially when it's uncomfortable, you are biologically becoming harder to manipulate. And this is where fear quietly begins, because humans instinctively distrust what they cannot predict or influence. And disciplined people are immune to emotional bait, social pressure, and short-term temptation, which makes them psychologically dominant without aggression. Something Machiavelli advised rulers to cultivate by appearing calm, controlled, and unreactive. Because emotional volatility signals weakness, while restraint signals authority. Look at history and you'll notice the most respected leaders were not the loudest or most expressive, but the most consistent, from Roman generals to modern CEOs. Because consistency creates reliability, and reliability creates power. And behavioral science confirms this through the principle of commitment bias, which states that people trust those whose actions align repeatedly with their words, even when it costs them comfort. And this is why discipline scares people, because it exposes their own lack of it, triggering what psychologists call upward social comparison, where your self-control becomes an unspoken mirror of their excuses. And instead of improving themselves, many react with discomfort or resentment, which Machiavelli warned about when he said that men will hate you for reminding them of their inadequacy. And this is why true discipline is quiet, because announcing it invites resistance, while embodying it creates dominance. Disciplined individuals also benefit from reduced decision fatigue, a proven concept in cognitive psychology, meaning they conserve mental energy by removing emotional negotiation from their routines, allowing them to outperform others with less stress, which looks effortless from the outside and therefore intimidating, because effortlessness is often mistaken for superiority. And this is why disciplined people rise faster in hierarchies, not because they are more talented, but because they are more dependable. And in Machiavellian terms, dependability is leverage. Because when people rely on you, you control outcomes without force. And when your discipline becomes visible through results, not words, it signals that you do not need validation, approval, or permission, which is the ultimate form of psychological independence. And humans instinctively respect independence because it cannot be coerced. And this is why becoming so disciplined that it scares them is not about punishing yourself, but about removing your need for external motivation, praise, or urgency. Because once you act regardless of mood, fear, or distraction, you enter a category most people never reach, the uncontrollable. And Machiavelli would tell you this is where real power begins.